There are multiple ways you can connect AI to Power BI and Microsoft Fabric. You could use MCP servers, you could use Fabric skills, but there is also another way. You could use Fabric CLI, command line interface, which is not used as much as the other methods, but it's quite powerful. In this video, I'm first going to show you what is CLI in general, how you can download and install and use it, even without Copilot or without AI. CLI itself is quite beneficial. And then I'm going to connect it to GitHub Copilot using AI. You would see that how AI can run the CLI commands for you. My name is Reza Rad from Radacat. Let's jump into this video. CLI stands for Command Line Interface. There are CLI tools pretty much available for anything. There is a CLI for Azure, which gives you ability to run commands on Azure, list your Azure resources. For example, if you want to go and check your subscription, what resources you have under that subscription. There are CLI commands for different actions inside Windows. There are CLI commands for Office 365. And there is also a set of CLI for Fabric called Fabric CLI. CLI command line interface will give you a place that you can run commands specifically working with an environment or a setting. Fabric CLI gives you a set of commands that you can run so that you can connect to your Fabric workspaces, your Fabric environment. For example, you can list your Fabric workspaces with a simple command such as fab-ls. Or you could copy content of one workspace to another workspace, again with a simple command such as fab, your CP, which is copy your first workspace to the second workspace. It makes it much simpler instead of doing a lot of actions manually. So how would you start with CLI? CLI itself doesn't need AI. You can just use CLI by itself without any AIs. So you could use it without being concerned about how the token optimization works or anything like that, because it is not AI. Now I'm going to show you first how the CLI itself works. So this is information about CLI. You can go to the CLI documentation. This command, pip install MS Fabric CLI, this is the command that you would run inside your command line and you would run and you would get it. But you might get this message that pip is not a recognized command. That is because it's a Python command. If that does not run on your machine, first you need to install Python. So you'll go to the python.org website, you'll install Python. It's an installation file. You download it, you install it. Once it is installed, then those pip commands should be able to run inside your normal Windows command line interface so that you can install this CLI. You could also use that pip install to install many other CLI commands. Like I used it to install the CLI used for the Microsoft events, which was for Microsoft Build. So as you can see, I have already installed Python, but my version of Python was old, so I'm installing it again. It might ask you a few questions, so you might need to allow some permissions for this because it installs some of the applications libraries on your machine. So I answered pretty much all of these questions as yes. So it installed all those Python libraries for me. And then after installing this, that pip install command should be a command that you could easily run and get the result. So if I go back to command prompt, I should be able to run that. So it actually installs it. This time that pip install works and it installs that, and the library of that CLI Fabric CLI is installed for me. It takes a little bit of time, but that is installed. Once it is installed, you can run Fabric CLI commands like fab auth login. But you see that doesn't work. That fab login doesn't work. And I'm going to find out why. It usually should work, but the reason in this case is that that path that this is installed doesn't work well with the environment variable. So I'll go to that path. I'll change the last part of it to be scripts. That way I will find that fab.exe file. then I have to go and create an environment variable for this. This should normally create automatically, but in my system it didn't. So I go to edit environment variables. I'll go to where my environment variables are. And then from that environment variable button you see there, we'll go to user variables. We'll create new user variable in this situation. Under the path, I'll go and edit. And then I'll create a new variable. This new variable would be that path that we have for that fab.exe. So I'll copy that path that I have over there, and I'll change that part to a script because that is the folder that has the fab.exe. Once you've done this, you click on OK on all of these windows so that it saves those configurations. You close your command prompt, and then you open it again. That way it reads that final system variables. So this time when it opens, I start those fab commands again. Fab is a Fabric CLI commands, and auth login means that we want to log in. And you see this time it responds to me. So it asks, do I want to use a service account or use a web browser so that I can log in myself? I would do that for this example, but you could use service account, which is quite useful if you want to automate the process. So I logged in through the browser using my account that I have used in my browser, and now I should be able to run other commands. For example, I can check the status of my authentication using fab auth status, and that should give me some information about which tenant I have logged in, what is my account details, and all of those information which you can see here. It also shows me a little bit of token, not the entire token because it's a security configuration not to show you all of that, but this means that I can run Fabric CLI commands. And Fabric CLI commands, there are many commands for that. They are all start with fab. For example, fab ls would give me list of workspaces. I would strongly recommend you to go to Fabric CLI documentation. You will see a lot of information about what commands are available, and each command, what sorts of information available in each of these commands. So here you can see that it listed my workspaces. These are the workspaces that I have, which should match to the workspaces that I have in my Fabric environment. Now I could go further and I can run something like this, fab export. If you don't know how to run a command, you can put fab export, for example, --help. After each command, you can do that, like fab ls --help. That will give you some information about how this command works, so that then you can write your command in a more accurate way. So if I want to run, for example, that command fab export, I could run it this time with a better information. Another example is that, for example, I could say, give me list of all items in one workspace. And that way I would say fab ls. I'll put the name of my workspace, .workspace at the end. That would give me a list of all the items in my workspace. It's quite fascinating that you could run all of these with a command line. This is not AI, this is just simple command lines. If you just type fab, it gives you a list of all commands, and it gives you also some information about how this would work. --help would give you some help information. --version would show you the version of the CLI. So this is CLI in general, which is quite helpful. You don't need AI for that. You wouldn't use any token. It would not cost you anything. You'll just use it as simple as that. You could automate your process. You could write a script that gets list of items from one workspace, copy it into another workspace, kind of create your deployment pipeline. A lot of interesting scenarios. Now, how this can take to the next level, how you can bring AI into that. And that is the most interesting part. So I'll show you another example here. This time I'm going to use VS Code. So VS Code is a free tool. It's a developer tool. You can install it. And I also have GitHub Copilot configured in my system, which you can also sign up for that. Here I can write my prompts. And before writing my prompts, I would just first make sure that I'm not using any MCP server tools. If you watched my previous video, I explained about MCP servers. Here you see all those check marks are unchecked, meaning that I'm not using any of MCP server tools, I'm not using any of the Fabric skills. And in my prompt, actually, I say that use Fabric CLI to give me list of workspaces. You could say that, or you could not. In this case, I said because I thought this would be a helpful information for AI. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. In this case, it doesn't really understand what that CLI is, so I actually needed to pass on some information. I pass the documentation of CLI. So I say, here is the documentation about CLI. Then it would go and read that and give me some information. It's a really useful option if you create a skill file yourself, custom skill file, which I explained in another video, and then pass this documentation in that. That time you don't need to send these prompts each time. So your token usage would be much less. So this understand that the CLI is installed. It runs that Fab authentication status, and it gives me the same thing. You see, this is the same command output. You see the terminal window by clicking on that button that we have on the right hand side. And this tries now to run fab ls to give me list of workspaces, because I asked give me list of workspaces, and here it is. You can see list of workspaces is available, which should match the workspaces that I have inside my Fabric environment, those workspaces that I have access to. Then I can go ahead and run another prompt. I can say, I want, for example, in this case, I actually want the content of one of these workspaces to be downloaded in a local folder. So I'm saying that I want the content of Fab Test Radacat workspace to be downloaded in a folder, same name, in my download folder in my local computer. This is like exporting your content, and all the contents that are exportable, reports, semantic model, lakehouses, warehouses, notebooks. So I run that command. This again run some CLI help to understand what command can give me those information. You can see here that it actually runs fab help, export help to get some information about that. Once it finds out about this, then it is going to run that piece of code. And this piece of code not only creates that folder in my download folder, it also runs the export command. And that is even better than running that entirely yourself. So you see, this is exporting all of those files for me. The combination of AI and Fab or Fabric CLI gives me much better option, because I don't even need to go and create this folder locally myself. It knows the commands to create that, then it goes and export it all here. So I'm just sending the prompts and it gives me that. You see the semantic model is exported, the definition of that, my reports are exported, all the files, and it is still exporting some of those information. This was a big workspace. So you see it, fast forward, this is exporting a lot of those information. I can start asking some other questions as well. So this is all exported. Fast forward, we should have, about 80 items exported. So I'm going to send another prompt this time, and I'm saying that read these examples in this page. Again, these could be added in a custom skill file, so each time you don't use it in your prompt. I explained it in another video, which is very simple how to create it, but I say read these examples, how to work with workspaces from Fabric CLI, and then go and create a workspace for me called SCD2. Right, this is going to be a Fabric workspace. So this time it is going to run that command to create this. Let me run the prompt. Once I run the prompt, it is going to run the command related to this. Again, from reading those informations. Custom skill file is highly recommended. I would recommend you to definitely use that. So it uses fab create command based on those information. It knows that fab create creates that. The first time it gives an error because it didn't provide the capacity name. Second time it runs it, this time with the capacity name. So this time it is actually creating the workspace perfectly fine. So even if it fails, it knows how to fix it. So I'm going to my Fabric environment. I refresh this. I should be able to see that new workspace created. So here it is, SCD2. If I go to that workspace, it's a Fabric workspace. I'll go to the workspace setting. Under workspace type, I should see that this is associated with the same Fabric capacity that I have and I'm using. If you had multiple Fabric capacities, you could even pass that and say, I want to use this capacity to create that. Now I can say copy the entire content of one workspace to another workspace. For example, in this example, I'm saying that copy the entire content from workspace SCD to workspace SCD2. Again, based on the documentation, it knows which command to run, and it runs fab cp, which is copy command from one workspace to another workspace. Now, I made it a little bit difficult for this here. I did something that would fail so that this tries a different approach. And its different approach is actually interesting. It's written a for each statement, as you can see here. And in this for each statement, it actually created a little program, a little bit program that loops through the items of one workspace and copy it to another workspace. Not that this is the main way. I just did that so that I can show it to you that AI combined with CLI is capable of interesting things. It can run that piece of program. It can write that piece of program for you instead of you and go and think and research about how to run this. So this is where the power of CLI and AI comes together. You could run prompts that would simply just say that I want to have a prompt that goes and creates a simple code for me that I can run on a scheduled basis. This code acts like a deployment pipeline. From one workspace, it copies the content and moves it to another workspace. It then goes and changes the connections. All of these are possible, even without MCP server, without Fabric skills, just using CLI combined with AI, it is possible. So there are plenty of different ways that you can connect AI to your Microsoft Fabric environment. This video specifically, I talked about CLI, how you can install it, how you can configure it, how you can run the CLI just by itself, and finally, how you can connect AI, such as GitHub Copilot. Cloud Code would work the same, Codex would also work the same. I hope you enjoyed this video and go and use Fabric CLI in your environment. My name is Reza Rad. We publish weekly videos about Microsoft Fabric and Power BI and how you can use AI in combination of those. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, go ahead and subscribe into our YouTube channel. Until the next video. Bye.